Now at 9, an area hospital is getting creative to attract new workers and hold on to current employees.
The Build Back Better agenda has shrunk once again, this time by $1 trillion or so. I'm Caroline Shively in Washington. Will that be enough to get it through Congress? We'll take a look coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Jordan Abbey. The threat of flooding tonight starts the weekend that includes a threat of severe weather Sunday. Meteorologist Doug Cady joins us now. It's going to be busy this weekend, huh? Probably.
It is. It's going to get pretty active as we go through the next couple days. At least we had a great day today, and we saw really nice temperatures after a cold start. 39 this morning. Look at that. Just above the frost level. 74 was our afternoon high. There's not much going on out there right now, but you can start to see a couple little sprinkles popping up, and that's the beginnings of what we're going to see really getting going as we go through the overnight hours for us tonight. Let's go through time. Showers, thunderstorms increase over the next couple hours. These are going to be spotty, but some of these could be kind of strong, and then they continue to increase in intensity and coverage as we go through the overnight hours. So here's about 3:30 in the morning, and then we get just a big old complex that drives through by the morning hours. Of course, we're going to break this down, plus Sunday's severe threat here in just a bit.
Doug, thank you as always. A former Ottawa County jailer is accused of stealing money from an inmate's account. Clifford DeMond is charged with grand larceny and computer fraud. According to court documents, last month, Clifford used 2 other county sheriff's employees' login information to reopen a released inmate's account. Clifford then used the release paid debit card to make purchases at a shoe store and at a Walmart, spending more than $2,400. He's scheduled to appear in court November 1st. With more than 200 open positions, Joplin's Freeman Hospital is looking to hire. KOAM's Mike Mahoney went to Freeman to learn what's behind this need for the new employees.
Joplin's Freeman Hospital has more open positions than it's ever had before.
We have around 200 open positions. Now I'm talking everything from nutrition services to nursing, maintenance, admissions, office work, clinic work, all of that.
Freeman's Chief Human Resource Officer says they are one of many hospitals across the country that's trying to replenish its staff after many employees got burnt out during the pandemic. She also says that while there are many jobs that don't require an education in medicine, there's also plenty of opportunity for those without that education to acquire one, as well as a related job through Freeman.
We have developed our own scrub tech program, and that is where we hire, you may not have any experience at all, but you're interested in healthcare and interested specifically in the OR. We have a very comprehensive program that we train and educate, and they're right on site, and then they just roll right into that position.
Freeman is also on the hunt for nurses, and their chief nursing officer says she is proof that the hospital can help those willing to work hard reach that goal.
I started here straight out of high school as a unit secretary, worked as a nurse tech, and worked my way up from a nurse to charge nurse, director, and then chief nursing officer. So I like to tell people all the time that Freeman is an awesome place to grow and a place to have a career, and no matter what you want to do, it's achievable if you are willing to work hard.
In Joplin, Mike Mahoney, KOAM News.
Freeman says that while there are still plenty of open positions, they had a lot of success at a recent hiring fair and several promising nurse applicants they're interviewing. Diamond, Missouri elementary students today got a lesson on fire safety. It's Fire Prevention Day for Diamond Elementary. The school tested its fire alarms and students practiced evacuating in a safe, orderly fashion. There's also a chance for the firefighters themselves with the Diamond Area Fire Protection District to get some rescue training. As part of the drill, 2 students stayed behind and the fire crew had to enter the school to search for them.
The big importance is letting kids know what to do and what to expect if there's an emergency in their home, how to best handle that, stay calm, and find an exit as fast as possible. And on the other side of that is knowing what to look for in us as first responders.
After the drill, the fire crew gave a fire safety talk with each class and showed students their fire safety trailer. Some local artists got together for a good cause. They spent time in the ceramics studio in Pitt State's Porter Hall making bowls that are going to be used in the Artists Against Hunger event later this fall. The event will be similar to the Empty Bowls events hosted in the area, where local people can buy the handcrafted bowls and fill them up with food while helping those in need.
I think this is a great event, and then also we will be able to get together. Like today, many of the people maybe more than half of the people. Today is the first time I'm meeting. And this is a great opportunity also by knowing other people, and then when we're helping other people.
The artists are going to be back in the studio tomorrow, making more bowls. 100% of the profits from the events will go to local food banks. Democratic leaders raced to piece together a roughly $2 trillion domestic policy bill by their self-imposed weekend deadline. Fox News correspondent Caroline Shively reports from Washington.
I do think I'll get a deal.
President Biden sounds confident about the pared-down version of his Build Back Better agenda, and House leadership says there is broad support for the framework.
96% of the House and Senate Democrats support the president's proposal.
But it's that other 4% that is shaping the contents of the bill and could tank it altogether. President Biden told House Democrats this week the deal might have to shrink to $1.9 trillion, down from $3.5, still too small for progressives and too big for moderates.
I've been at 1.5 and I've been very upfront with everybody, and we're still talking to the White House, and we will continue to.
The framework still contains provisions for universal pre-K, child care, elder care, housing, and a child tax credit. Likely out? Free community college and a broad corporate tax hike. Even if those provisions are axed, Republicans appear united against the bill.
This is about a plan from the Democrats to transform our country, permanently change our tax system, and turn us into a European welfare state.
Democrats had set this weekend as a deadline for a deal. Senator Manchin says he does not see that happening. In Washington, Caroline Shively, Fox News.
The nation's highest court has agreed to hear arguments challenging Texas' new restrictive abortion law, the state law that bans abortions after 6 weeks of pregnancy, which is often before a woman knows she is pregnant, will remain in place for now. But the U.S. Supreme Court will hear oral arguments on the law on November 1st. The High Court has agreed to expedite hearing the case at the request of abortion rights advocates and providers as the group cited the, quote, urgency of the harm the new law has caused. The Supreme Court will also review whether the U.S. Justice Department can challenge the law in court. Children under 12 years old may be next to get their COVID-19 shots. Pfizer announcing new efficacy data today ahead of an FDA advisory panel meeting. Fox News correspondent Jonathan Siri has more.
Younger children could soon line up to get a COVID-19 vaccine. Pfizer announcing kid-sized doses of its formula are more than 90% effective in children 5 to 11 years old. In a study of about 2,000 children, there were only 3 COVID cases among the group that received the vaccine. An FDA advisory panel will review the data next week. More than 25,000 pediatricians and primary care providers have signed up to distribute the shots.
A pediatrician and a parent and a child, not a government, not a mandate, because this is a sensitive issue and pediatricians are very good at this. So I'm hearing smaller needles. I like that idea.
Meanwhile, the White House says more than 120 million Americans will become eligible for COVID boosters in the coming months. Yesterday, the CDC approved boosters for adults who got Johnson & Johnson's vaccine and a select group of Moderna recipients. Booster-eligible people now have the option to get a new dose of any approved vaccine, regardless of the one they initially received.
Vaccine matching has been shown to have a more robust immune response and a richer immune response.
CDC Director Rochelle Walensky says the definition of fully vaccinated may eventually change to take boosters into account.
Right now, we don't have booster eligibility for all people currently. So we are going to, we have not yet changed the definition of fully vaccinated. We will continue to look at this.
CDC data show about 64 million vaccine eligible Americans still have not gotten their first COVID shot. In Atlanta, Jonathan Siri, Fox News.
Brain fog in many COVID-19 patients can linger for months, even for some of those who were not hospitalized. A new study looked at how cognitive impairment persists in COVID-19 patients. Researchers conducted a series of cognitive tests in 740 COVID patients who had no history of dementia. Hospitalized patients were more likely to have brain fog, but nearly a quarter of those studied had persistent memory problems. The researchers said lingering memory problems in COVID-19 patients could impact long-term treatment and have occupational concerns. KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14 takes this time to honor another four-state hero. Pearl King served in the U.S. Army from 1968 to 1970. A native of Carthage, Missouri, King was stationed in Vietnam, earning the Bronze Star, also the Purple Heart. We are proud to thank and salute Sergeant Pearl King. He's tonight's 4-state hero. Doug is next with a complete look at the forecast, and later, a local cross-country runner earning all-conference recognition, running in his socks. Gonna have the story in sports.
Well, it turned out to be a great Friday for us today. Temperatures fantastic as we went into the lower 70s for highs after a very cold start all the way down into the 30s earlier this morning. Great shot, Indigo Sky Casino and Resort, of course. Indigo is just outside of Seneca, Missouri. Looks pretty good. Nice Friday evening, parking lot filling up. Of course, a lot of people getting out and about because it's nice out. Temperatures low to mid 60s, even upper 60s in our western counties. We're not going to drop off much more as we go through the overnight hours. Here's 7th and Rangeline, currently outside 62. South winds at about 3. Humidity is at 65%. We've been quiet all day, but now start seeing the little tiny showers popping up across southeastern Kansas, and this is going to be the trend as we go through the overnight hours, as we have a little bit of energy which is shooting right across southeastern Kansas. And what that is going to do is just fire off a huge complex of showers and thunderstorms as we go through the overnight hours tonight. Next wave out across parts of Nevada, that will start to affect us by Sunday afternoon with chances for showers and thunderstorms again. So let's break this down. This is the bigger rain event that we are going to see over the weekend. Showers, thunderstorms really popping up the next few hours. Some of these storms could be a little stronger. If we had any strong storms, we're talking about very small hail, some gusty winds, maybe upwards of 40 miles per hour. But thunderstorms really increase by the time we get to the early morning hours. Here's 5 a.m. Some of these storms could be low-grade severe, meaning winds at 60, maybe quarter-size hail at best. But most of these are going to stay just strong storms. But bands, showers, and thunderstorms, look at this big complex just working through. This is 9 a.m., so all morning it's going to be wet. And then these will start to get out of here by the time we get into the afternoon. So by noon, they'll start to work out of here. And then we look pretty good by the afternoon hours. You can see this warm front is going to lift in, and that's going to help our temperatures warm into the 70s once we get some sunshine late in the day. So the first half of the day, not so good. Second half of the day looks pretty good. 75 south winds at about 10 to 15. All right, tomorrow evening looks okay. Tomorrow night looks okay until late tomorrow night. Some thunderstorms from out west will enter the region by Sunday morning, not severe. Scattered showers and a few thunderstorms Sunday morning. Once these clear out, sunshine pops out. And then here's 2:30, so probably 3, 4 o'clock from Fort Scott, Pittsburgh to Miami. If you live west of that, you don't have to worry about any severe weather. Then we'll start to get some supercells that pop up. Those supercells should go severe very quickly, most likely large hail, gusty winds, and we do have a tornado threat as they work through, but our window's very short. We only have about a 2-hour window for severe weather, then it's done. But we want to pay attention as we head into Sunday afternoon with that severe threat. 75, rain most of the morning tomorrow, 78 Sunday, those afternoon storms. Monday looks great. Thunderstorms Tuesday, temperatures more fall-like next week.
So again, starting tonight, it's going to be interesting.
It's going to be a loud night.
Yeah. All right, Doug, we'll see you in a little bit. Thanks so much, as always. Coming up, Haitian kidnappers standing their ground.
New threats against the 17 hostages from an American missionary kidnapped in Haiti. I'm Rich Edson in Washington, and I'll have more on their abduction coming up.
New dangers facing the 17 mostly American missionaries held captive in Haiti. Fox News correspondent Rich Edson has more on the threats made against their lives.
Kidnappers issue a new warning.
I'm going to make you guys cry blood.
In a new video, the leader of the gang responsible for the abduction of 17 from an American missionary is threatening to kill them all unless he's paid $17 million.
I swear by thunder that if I don't get what I'm asking for, I will put a bullet in the heads of these Americans.
A senior State Department official says the video appears to be legitimate. The White House says a ground team is in Haiti, relentlessly working to rescue the captives. Officials also outlined ongoing efforts to help combat the rising gang violence plaguing the country.
We have been working closely with the Haitian National Police to try to build their capacity, as well as help put in place programs that can effectively deal with the gangs.
The 16 Americans and 1 Canadian were in Haiti on behalf of the Christian Aid Ministries Group, which is out of Ohio, when they were taken from their bus on the way back from building an orphanage last weekend. Protesters there are demanding the missionaries be released.
Because of them, we can do everything. Like, they pay their schools, like they pay our bills. So they do everything for us.
In the United States, friends and family members of the victims say their focus is on spreading peace.
God has given our loved ones the unique opportunity to live out our Lord's command, to love your enemies.
Haitian officials say resolving gang violence is a major challenge, with gang members severely outnumbering and outarming police across the country. In Washington, Rich Edson, Fox News.
Next, a well-known actor saying he's fully cooperating with police.
Alec Baldwin makes his first comments after being involved in a deadly shooting on a Hollywood movie set. I'm Jonathan Hunt in Los Angeles. I'll have details coming up.
Time since a tragic event on the set of his latest movie. Fox News chief correspondent Jonathan Hunt has more now from Los Angeles.
Alec Baldwin was seen looking distraught outside the sheriff's office Thursday after firing a prop gun on the set of his movie in Santa Fe, New Mexico, killing one crew member and injuring another. Director of photography Helena Hutchins died, and director Joel Souza was taken to the hospital for emergency treatment and later released. Baldwin released a statement on Twitter Friday saying, quote, "There are no words to convey my shock and sadness regarding the tragic accident that took the life of Helena Hutchins, a wife, mother, and deeply admired colleague of ours. I'm fully cooperating with the police investigation to address how this tragedy occurred." The Santa Fe County, New Mexico Sheriff's Department says, quote, "This investigation remains open and active. No charges have been filed in regard to this incident. Witnesses continue to be interviewed by detectives." Production has been halted on the movie titled Rust. It's about a teen on the run after the accidental killing of a local rancher.
This is really ironic in the saddest of ways. This is a major headline that never goes away and will just pile onto the many controversies that are already next to his name, whether it's fair or not fair.
The Santa Fe District Attorney says her office is now assisting in the investigation, but it's unclear if charges will be filed. In Los Angeles, Jonathan Hunt, Fox News.
According to court documents, Baldwin was handed a loaded weapon by an assistant director who did not know it was loaded with live rounds. All right, coming up, going to learn about one of the world's greatest mysteries. I was about to say greatest, and okay, at least it's one of the world's great mysteries. The least favorite item on McDonald's menu. Item on the Mickey D's menu is proving that customers aren't exactly hot for it, but they're stone cold down for its counterpart. Those are some clues right there. An Ohio area supervisor for some family franchised McDonald's restaurants confesses that hot tea is the least ordered item from their menu, and the supervisor admits he hasn't sold one yet. Now, the confession is on a viral TikTok video that's been seen by more than 5.6 million people. The Mickey D's menu says it's hot tea is black tea with floral and orange flavorings. The supervisor says, ironically though, their most sold item is iced tea with orange pico and pico cut black tea. A lot of people didn't even know that Mickey D's has hot tea. I didn't, but apparently it's for a reason. All right, cashing in on your kiddo's trick-or-treat stash. According to a survey from topcashback.com, more than half of adults claim a 10% stake in their child's Halloween haul, specifically chocolate. Reese's were the most sought after by moms and dads, followed by Kit Kats and M&M's. Hey, we earned it, all right? 30 more minutes, news, weather, and sports coming your way.
Pittsburgh High School band members are getting more opportunities to explore creative freedom. I'm Bronte Sorotsky with how the school district is using dual credit to help them out with this.
The last time it cost this much to fill up your tank was 2014, and the federal government has no plan to fix it. I'm Caroline Shively in Washington. I'll have details coming up.
Pittsburgh high school students now have more freedom to pursue their passions. That's thanks to a new decision by the school board. KOAM's Bronte Sorotsky has held a decision to give marching band students PE credit. Allows them more time to pursue new outlets.
For teenagers, high school is a time to explore one's passions and find new ones. And now Pittsburgh high school students like Cody Johnson can do that.
It just makes it another class available for next semester because I think I had PE next semester. So now I got it replaced with jazz band.
Johnson is among many Pittsburgh high school students in band who will have an open period thanks to a new school board decision.
Band now counts as a PE credit thanks to a great decision and open-minded thinking on behalf of our Board of Education. They started to think, what are some other classes that really have a physical component.
With the marching band credit merging with the PE credit, students who may not have been able to do band before now can. And it also opens up doors for students to do activities in addition to band.
Band being a credit that requires 2 semesters of enrollment, it's really tough. And so now that really frees up an extra credit for them to enroll in. Maybe they want to get involved in a culinary course.
And losing out on the PE class doesn't mean kids are getting any less physical activity.
Marching band is very physical. These students put in a lot of time. As you can see, they're out here early mornings, carrying weight a lot of times, having to do formations, and that takes a lot of skill and physical ability.
Now, Pittsburgh students will be able to do the things they love without anything holding them back. In Pittsburgh, Bronte Sorotsky, KOAM News.
Just in case if you were wondering, the band performed a song by Lizzo as well as a song by Bill Withers at tonight's Friday night football game. Well, Missouri Southern is making stops across southwest Missouri as part of its Green and Gold Tour. Today, university officials, students, and mascot Rory the Lion even visited Nevada. High school students at each stop can enter a drawing for a $1,000 scholarship given away during halftime at certain football games. Now, officials say the tour is a way for the school to connect with communities and prospective students.
Missouri Southern is a great place to be as a student. We're a very student-centered institution, and I think that sets us apart from some other opportunities they have. Great academic programs, great faculty, great campus, just a fantastic place to pursue a college degree.
The next stop on the tour is going to be Seneca, but no date has been announced yet. This isn't some real life, I was going to say dream, but really it's a nightmare that we're a part of. Gas prices haven't been this high in 7 years. At a town hall in Baltimore last night, President Biden candidly admitted he didn't have an immediate answer to solve this whole thing. The spike has the potential to become a political problem for the president and fellow Democrats. Republicans are already making an issue of it. Fox News correspondent Caroline Shively reports from Washington.
If there's one word to describe gas prices right now, it would probably be ouch. AAA estimated that the national average for a regular gallon of gas was $3.38 on Friday. President Biden admits that he doesn't have a near-term answer to lower it.
I could go in the petroleum reserve and take out and probably reduce the price of gas maybe 18 cents or so a gallon. It's still going to be above $3.
A Fox News poll finds that 84% of Americans say rising gas prices are a problem for their family. 94% think it's a problem for the country's economy.
I used to be able to spend a 20 and fill up my tank, but now it's probably around 30, 35 to fill it up.
I just sold my Tesla and switched to a hybrid car. The introduction back into the gas world has been a little surprising, but we're managing.
More bad news, it could get worse this winter.
The higher natural gas prices are also going to eat into their budget because natural gas is going to be used for home heating.
Some Republicans believe it has national security implications.
It's empowering our adversaries. Sure. And this is a purely
homemade problem from the Biden
Self-imposed.
administration's self-imposed
Yeah.
unilateral disarmament on American energy independence.
One good spot of news for consumers, the president has ruled out raising the federal gas tax to pay for infrastructure. In Washington, Caroline Shively, Fox News.
A bit later, a look at how a glass bottle shortage in many parts of the country could have an impact on wine supply.
Well, it turned out to be a pretty good Friday for us today. Sunny skies after a cold start as we went into the 70s for afternoon highs, and a great shot Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. But get ready for a loud night. We got showers, we got thunderstorms, which are rapidly increasing over the past hour or so. And these are really going to pop up as we go from this point on for about the next 15 hours. We're going to have showers and thunderstorms across the region. In fact, you can see them already popping up really from Orinoco, Carthage, right to the south side of Joplin. And then we got all these little clusters which have popped. These are all in the past 20 minutes. So from Chanute, Fredonia, Independence, just to the west of Parsons, these will continue to pop up. One little guy on the west side of Pittsburgh as well. So these will continue to pop up as we go through the overnight hours. Let's go through time. Scattered thunderstorms. You can see the radar, it just lights up all night long, mainly along and north of I-44, at least for the next 6-7 hours, and then eventually south of I-44, you'll get some storms. Now, some of these storms are going to be strong. We may even get a low-grade severe thunderstorm warning or two, but most of these are just going to be strong storms as they work through. Look at this band. It drops in. So here's 9 a.m., so very heavy amounts of rain. This goes on until about the noon hour. Then finally, we get rid of the storms. The afternoon, we break out, we see partly sunny skies, and it looks like a pretty good afternoon. But a wet start, 56 to start, 64 by noon, high temp at 75, south winds at about 10 to 15. But I do think the afternoon into the evening actually looks pretty good. Most of tomorrow night looks fine. And then late tomorrow night into Sunday morning, we'll get some scattered showers and even a few thunderstorms in here through Sunday morning. By Sunday afternoon, they clear out. Here comes the sunshine. Our atmosphere starts to destabilize. Now, severe threat is really from Fort Scott, Pittsburgh, Miami, this way, east. West, you're not going to have a severe threat. But look at the supercells. They pop up, so this 4:30, very quickly roll east, and then they're gone. But that very short window, those storms could go severe very quickly. Large hail, gusty winds, and even a tornado threat on Sunday. All right, this is rainfall just tonight. A lot of areas are going to pick up 1 or 2 inches, especially north of Interstate 44, some very heavy amounts of rain. Here's our severe threat for Sunday. Again, I really think it's Fort Scott, Pittsburgh, Miami, points to the east. And 3 p.m. to 7 p.m., we're going to elevate tornado threat. We're going to make hail and wind a high threat. Something we want to watch closely over the next 36 hours. 75 for us tomorrow, 78 Sunday, cooling down, drying out by Monday.
Like you said, something to watch closely and have a plan in place.
Yep, always want to have a plan in this part of the country.
Yep, Doug Heddy, thank you so much. Coming up in sports, going to hear from the voice of the Chiefs, Mitch Holthus, ahead of the team's game against Tennessee. Also, Columbus High School volleyball aiming to do something they haven't done in 21 years. Jacob Leonard has that and more next.
It's playoff time for high school volleyball in southeast Kansas. The Columbus Titans will be on the court tomorrow afternoon in the first round of the 3A Sub-State Tournament in Baxter Springs. Now, this Columbus group has already taken a big step forward, winning 12 games in the regular season after winning just 1 last year. It's the first time they've won more than 10 since 2010. And when they hit the court tomorrow against Baxter Springs, they'll have a chance to make more history, aiming for their first sub-state win in 21 years.
We are really motivated. Hopefully we have a big student section crowd coming to support. We're super motivated and we're so excited. We really hope we can come out and pull out the win, for the seniors and of course just for everyone, and then really start that fire for next year as well, just to know that Columbus volleyball can do hard things and we can do this.
Everyone's energetic, excited to be here. I don't think we've ever won sub-state, so we have a pretty good seeding and we're ready to go out there, win our first game, and keep winning.
Normally we have success in softball, basketball, stuff like that, but it's never really been volleyball, and that's something new. And so it feels pretty good to us to finally have some success in volleyball.
Well, it's also postseason time for Missouri high school cross country. On the boys' side, Tuesday, Lamar finished second at the Big 8 championships with one of their best guys running at a bit of a disadvantage. I'm not joking. This is sophomore Pierce Hines. At the Big 8 meet, right off the bat, someone stepped on the back of his foot and pulled his shoe off. So instead of just finishing the race with one shoe, he took the other one off too. And get this, he finished 11th and earned all conference recognition.
I was very nervous. My adrenaline was through the roof. I didn't know what to do. The first thing that came to my mind was always to take the other shoe off and continue running. I felt very confident and pleased that I did that well without any shoes on. I learned that when challenges present themselves, that you have to adapt to your challenges.
A lot of kids would not have been able to handle that, but he did well with that. It's mental toughness. I mean, he had to be mentally tough, and he showed that.
The Kansas City Chiefs are 3-3 through their first 6 games of the season. Last week, they went on the road and picked up a big 31-13 win over Washington. This week, they remain on the road to face the Tennessee Titans. Like we do every Friday, right now, it's time to hear from the voice of the Chiefs, Mitch Holthus, in this week's Minute with Mitch.
Wait a second, the episode's ending. Hey, forget your reality shows or your daytime soaps or your miniseries. The real drama is in the National Football League. Do you realize in the first 6 weeks of the season in the NFL, 24 games have been decided in the last minute or in overtime? It's an all-time National Football League record. I mean, these margins are razor thin, and it's why the giveaway-takeaway ratio is so important and why it's perplexing that the Chiefs are near the bottom of that statistic. In the first 8 years of Andy Reid's tenure here in Kansas City, the Chiefs were first or second in that major category 4 times. And in 3 other years, they were in the top 6. Now, the Chiefs are going back to Tennessee where they lost in 2019 on a bad snap, a blocked field goal, and they lost in the last minute on this Minute with Mitch. The Minute with Mitch is brought to you by KOAM Jewelry. Every day's game day, KOAM Jewelry, Pittsburgh, Joplin.
Sunday's game kicks off at noon on our sister station, KOAM Channel 7. The Chiefs, by the way, are 4.5-point favorites. Now that's a look at sports. Be sure to join us back here tonight on Fox 14 at 11 for Press Box. That's a 30-minute show, and it's all football. We'll have high school highlights and scores from all across the area, including that big district championship game between Frontenac and Girard. We're back with more news right after the break.
Your favorite adult beverage may be the latest casualty of COVID-19. This is because of a national glass bottle shortage, which is affecting the supply of wine nationwide. Fox's Jacqueline Matter in D.C. has more on this story.
Another shortage stemming from the COVID-19 pandemic could have an impact on wine country and distilleries across the DMV, but it's not because of a lack of alcohol. Many dealing with a national glass bottle shortage that has left many of them being creative when it comes to their product as the holidays quickly approach.
Doug Fabioli has spent nearly 2 decades in Loudoun County as a winemaker, but a lack of bottles nationwide could put his supply at risk.
My next bottling is in December. I've got commitment that it will be good, but I'm concerned about my next one in February and whether we'll be able to get the glass.
His bottle supplier says she's had challenges filling orders, and economists say it's much of the same as the shortage is linked to backups in the supply chain.
This glass bottle shortage is sort of the latest iteration of supply chain issues we've seen throughout the pandemic. It's sort of a critical piece. But it shows you that even if the product is plentiful, even if they have plenty of wine to go around, something like the glass bottles could really just cause a big disaster for everyone.
Fabioli says because he runs a smaller winery, they do have the ability to pivot more and make changes.
We may look at other ways to put a bottle or put wine to the customer, whether it be on tap. We have pouches that we use, but the tradition of a bottle is something that people really enjoy. We want to make sure they can continue to have that product.
But as we approach the holidays, one question top of mind: will we see the panic buying the pandemic is known to bring on?
I don't think a wine shortage, but we certainly run into needing parts. The big thing is that the customers may be affected is I can't bottle that wine and can't offer it if that bottle is not available.
You could be looking at is some pretty disappointed wine lovers going into the holidays, again, when they're meeting with their family and they want to bring in a special bottle of something to whatever party they're going to.
Now, this shortage could eventually lead to that wine being aged in the barrels for too long, which could, of course, potentially affect the taste of the wine and then ruin the product. But Fabioli tells me that's not the case for any of his current supply. However, come December or February, when he does have to bottle more barrels, that could be a different story. But for right now, this one's pretty good. Back to you guys.
Next, going to learn about a new movie about Ozzy Osbourne. Hollywood Nation, coming your way. New Sopranos story may be on the way, and a celebrity couple's romance is getting the movie treatment. Here's Fox's Ashley Vorkin with the latest from the Hollywood Nation.
Special Agent John Hartley, FBI.
The Rock teams up with Reynolds. The Osbournes share their love story, and Tony Soprano's journey continues in the Hollywood Nation.
Put him on the table.
Get ready for more Sopranos. Deadline is reporting series creator David Chase is in talks with HBO Max about a sequel to The Many Saints of Newark. It would take place after the film and before the original series. A final decision as to whether the project becomes a TV series or a feature film has not been made. The romance between legendary rocker Ozzy Osbourne and his wife Sharon is heading to the big screen. According to Variety, a movie about the couple's decades-long bond is in the works at Sony Pictures. The untitled project will feature songs from Ozzy's band Black Sabbath as well as from his solo career.
Hello, boys. It's so nice to finally meet you.
And Netflix finally released the trailer to the action thriller Red Notice. The film stars Dwayne Johnson as FBI agent John Hartley, who is forced to partner with the world's greatest art thief, Nolan Booth, played by Ryan Reynolds. Together, they work to capture Gal Gadot's character, the Bishop, the world's most wanted thief. It premieres November 12th.
Trusting a thief can be dangerous.
In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
That's our time for tonight. Thanks for joining us. Going to leave you with video of rare northern white rhinos. Have a great, safe weekend. Do this all again tomorrow. Don't get in enough fights now. See you tomorrow.